Picture a tiny black speck in your pepper grinder. Harmless, right? Yet this small grain has shaped empires, trade routes, and cultures for thousands of years. From the dense jungles of India to Roman banquets, European courts, and modern kitchens worldwide, black pepper quietly influenced history in ways few spices ever could. Who would have thought a tiny bead could carry such weight? Black pepper's story is more than seasoning. It is a journey of culture, commerce, and conquest. It is a tale of tropical forests, daring explorers, bustling trade hubs, and the human desire for flavor. Let's trace this epic journey from its Indian origins to global domination. Black pepper hails from the humid forests of southwest India, particularly the Malabar coast and today's Kerala. The vine, Piper nigrum, thrives in rich soil under dense canopy shade. Heavy monsoon rains keep the vines lush and fertile. These conditions produce peppercorns with pungent aroma, deep flavor, and subtle fruity notes. Reports suggest humans have used pepper for over 4,000 years, dating back to 2000 BCE. Known locally as mericha or papali, it served multiple purposes. It enhanced the taste of otherwise bland or bitter foods. It helped meat and other perishables last longer before refrigeration. Ancient practitioners used it to aid digestion, stimulate appetite, and treat minor ailments. Farmers harvested unripe green berries. The sun dried them into small, pungent beads. These were then prepared for trade. Peppercorns were highly valued. Even then, the tiny bead held promise of influence far beyond the forests it grew in. Imagine a Kerala farmer carefully plucking green pepper berries at sunrise. He dries them on woven mats in the humid sun. Little does he know, centuries later, these tiny beads will travel to Roman tables and Venetian markets. Every bead carried not just flavor, but wealth, status, and even survival. Once the world discovered pepper's value, it spread rapidly. Merchants, caravans, and sailors transported it over deserts and oceans. They forged some of the earliest trade networks. Historical accounts suggest that ancient Egyptians reportedly included pepper in burial goods for nobility. They valued it not just as food, but as a symbol of wealth and eternity. By the time of the Roman Empire, pepper was a luxury commodity. Elite recipes frequently included it. Sometimes it was even accepted as payment for taxes, dowries, or ransoms. Pepper was not just a culinary addition. Its chemical compound, piperini, created a sharp, warming taste. It also reportedly carried medicinal benefits. In pre-refrigeration times, it masked unpleasant odors. It helped preserve food. One small bead was simultaneously medicine, preservative, and culinary delight. Who would have imagined that the same pepper you grind over your pasta could have been valuable enough to settle debts, rescue hostages, or adorn royal tombs? In some records, merchants were willing to risk life and limb to secure a shipment of black gold. The stakes were higher than most today's entrepreneurs can imagine. How did pepper make it from tropical India to Mediterranean tables? Through vast, complex trade networks. These combined daring sea voyages and treacherous overland routes. By sea, ships left ports like Muziris. They were loaded with pepper, cinnamon, cardamom, and other goods. Captains navigated monsoons, pirates, and rival traders. Sometimes they hid pepper in sacks of grain to avoid theft. Some historians suggest traders even bribed local rulers to pass safely through dangerous territories. Overland caravans carried pepper through deserts and mountains. It passed hand to hand across Arabia, Persia, and the Middle East. Every shipment represented wealth, prestige, and cultural influence. Pepper's value was so high that the term peppercorn rent survives in law. A single peppercorn could serve as symbolic payment. Arab traders braved bandit attacks, scorching deserts, and sandstorms. Sometimes they traveled for months to deliver pepper safely. One tale tells of a caravan forced to abandon half its cargo after a sandstorm buried sacks of pepper beneath dunes. The surviving beans were worth fortunes. It is easy to see why pepper was not just a spice. It was life, fortune, and survival all rolled into a tiny bead. These roots connected continents centuries before modern global trade. The spread of pepper also facilitated cultural exchange. It brought culinary techniques, medicinal practices, and even religious rituals across regions. Spices like black pepper became threads that wove together distant societies. When pepper reached Europe, it became the ultimate status symbol. Nobles flaunted it at lavish feasts. Merchants displayed it to signal wealth and influence. In 14th century Venice, a pound of pepper could cost the equivalent of a laborer's monthly wage. Owning pepper signaled not just taste, but power and prosperity. Pepper transformed European cuisine. It enhanced meats, stews, sauces, and breads. It became indispensable for both flavor and culinary prestige. Traders fought fiercely for control. Arab, Venetian, Portuguese, Dutch, and British powers competed for supremacy over spice flows. Eventually, pepper became more accessible. It moved from elite kitchens to common households. It still retained its association with wealth for centuries. As pepper's culinary influence expanded, so did its cultural and economic impact. It was not just seasoning anymore. It became a force driving trade, diplomacy, and even warfare. Monarchs negotiated treaties, planned voyages, and raised armies, often with pepper playing a subtle role in the calculus of power. What made black pepper the king of spices? Several factors contributed. Kerala's climate produced peppercorns with exceptional pungency and aromatic depth. Pepper preserved meats, spiced food, and aided digestion long before refrigeration existed. Its limited cultivation regions, high transportation costs, and insatiable demand made it a high-value commodity. Control over trade routes by Arabian, European merchants turned pepper into currency, leverage, and prestige. From Italian pasta to Persian stews and English roasts, pepper became universally embraced. Who would have guessed that a tiny black bead influenced laws, diplomacy, and exploration, all while adding flavor to meals? Pepper became more than just a kitchen staple. It became a marker of wealth and sophistication. Entire fortunes were built on a cargo of pepper. Ships were outfitted and armies funded to protect and secure spice-laden routes. In some ways, pepper fueled early globalization centuries before the term existed. Black pepper shaped history beyond kitchens. European powers launched maritime expeditions to bypass middlemen. They wanted direct access to spice sources. These efforts led to new discoveries, colonial empires, and significant economic shifts. Cultural exchange followed. Trade, recipes, preservation techniques, and medicinal knowledge spread across continents. Societies were subtly reshaped by the reach of a single spice. Legal systems even reflected pepper's importance. Peppercorns served as symbolic tribute or rent. Portuguese explorers reportedly spent months at sea. They risked scurvy, storms, and shipwrecks, all to bring pepper home. One ship's log mentions the crew rationing pepper carefully, aware that it represented both fortune and survival. Their peril shows how culinary desire drove global exploration and reshaped world history. From influencing empires to becoming a kitchen staple, pepper's journey continued, bridging the ancient and modern worlds. Today, black pepper grows in Vietnam, Indonesia, Brazil, and India. Kerala remains the historical heartland. From biryani to pasta, grilled meats to soups, black pepper elevates dishes across the globe. Every twist of a grinder carries centuries of trade, culture, and human ambition. That tiny grain once bought fortunes, launched ships, and influenced empires. Now, it simply makes food taste incredible. A chef in New York or Mumbai twisting a pepper grinder may be unaware that centuries ago, this same spice shaped empires and trade routes. Even now, black pepper connects people, places, and traditions. Imagine the aroma rising as you sprinkle freshly ground black pepper on a steaming curry. It is pungent, earthy, and slightly woody. The taste is sharp, warming, and slightly fruity. The texture, whether coarse or finely ground, adds subtle mouthfeel differences. Black pepper, sun-dried from unripe berries, is bold and full-bodied. White pepper, made from ripe berries with skins removed, is milder and earthier. Green pepper, picked unripe and preserved, is fresh, vibrant, and slightly fruity. Freshly cracked pepper releases an intense aroma and sharper heat. Pre-ground offers convenience but loses some vibrancy. One pinch connects centuries of Indian masalas, Italian cacio e pepe, and Moroccan tagines. It unites cuisines and cultures across continents. Pepper is more than flavor. It is history in motion. Rare pepper varieties reportedly sell for thousands of dollars per kilo. Pepper influenced trade, economics, and culinary traditions worldwide. Its cultural reach touched literature, art, and exploration. It shaped more than just meals. Be it as a thread connecting continents, peoples, and traditions. From the jungles of India to your kitchen table, black pepper has quietly spiced history itself. Next time you reach for the pepper, consider the centuries of empires, daring explorers, and global trade packed into a single pinch. That tiny black bead may seem insignificant, yet it has influenced nations, cultures, and cuisines worldwide. A grain of pepper is more than flavor. It is history in motion, connecting people, places, and traditions across time. From crazy sea trips to royal feasts, black pepper has seen it all. Which story blew your mind the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We would love to hear from you.